Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse of Husker Nation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by a special guest today. He committed to Nebraska on signing day, the most recent signing to Nebraska's scholarship 2024 class. He's a defensive end edge player, out of Arizona. 6'5", 240 pounds at 60 tackles last year as a senior, 18.5 TFLs with 6 sacks. And honestly, one of the most coveted players on the West Coast, 4-star and 24th edge player in the country, one of the top 15 players out of Arizona as well, Mr. Keona Wilhite. How you doing, my friend?
Well, great. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, if you're excited to see what Keona, his entire class, 31 players, like I mentioned, no other class in the country even has 30, and don't worry, Matt Rhule's going to figure out the whole scholarship limit thing. You don't need to stop him on the street and ask him questions. All right, but if you're excited to see what Keona can do and this unique recruiting class, what they're going to do here at Nebraska, smash the like button. So my first question for you, my friend, what made you pick Nebraska and what excites you the most about playing for the Big Red?
Pick Nebraska because I had a better situation. I got Coach Knighton, who was in the league, has a lot of experience. I have Coach White, who has a great defense. I'm very excited to be able to get on the field there soon, to be able to work and get better, to be able to progress my skills.
I like it. And this next question was by far my least favorite question to write down. But I got to ask it because I always ask all the questions I think are pertinent here. And at the time we're recording this, there's rumors and things of that nature. We'll see what happens. I hope he stays, but I got to ask. All right, Tony White is rumored to possibly be, he is in that UCLA head coaching mix. What are your thoughts and reactions when you hear something like that?
I'm good. If he does get a job early, I'd be really happy for him because that's a big promotion. But I would stay if that's what you're wondering, if he were to leave. Because Nebraska, I see it as school, I think, for championships either way.
I like it. I felt like I had to ask. But yeah, you're committed to Nebraska. I'm sure Husker fans, they're going to love that. So, all right, now you are listed as a DN, and you mentioned Coach Knighton. So you're a guy who's kind of an edge player, an edge rusher in this 3-3-5 defense. There's a potential of moving you around to different spots, but it sounds like your intent is to play as a defensive lineman here in the 3-3-5 defense at Nebraska. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you like the most about playing in a 3-3-5 style of defense?
I like the most about it, you can do a lot with it. You can switch to a 4-man, or you could have blitzes coming in. And but what I like most about it is that I'm really comfortable with it because it's the same defense I ran in high school with my coaches.
Do you have a preference? Like me, I love to get on the edge and just rush the quarterback. I mean, that was by far my favorite thing to do. But do you have a preference if you're standing in a 2-point and you get a blitz, if you got your hand in the dirt and you're rushing? Do you sometimes like stunting inside? Do you like what's your favorite thing to do on defense? Some guys actually like dropping into pass coverage sometimes. You probably won't do that much at Nebraska, I wouldn't imagine. But what's your favorite thing to do on defense?
Like in the 9, just having my hand in the dirt, run straight to a quarterback. I like that the best.
Pretty much what I like to do as well. Get wide, get after the quarterback. I can relate to that. What is if you were to self-evaluate yourself, because we all have things that we do well, we all have things that we need to improve on. Okay, what's the thing that you would consider your greatest strength as a player, and what's the area you'd like to improve the most on when it comes to your game?
My greatest strength would be my motor, my relentlessness, and what I need to work on would be my pass rush skills.
It was interesting because I watched tape of you this morning right before this interview. I watched a little bit more, and that was the one thing I noticed was you hustle sideline to sideline. You are all over the field making plays, and that is the thing that stood out to me the most. Because not everybody does that, so what drives you to have that type of motor? What motivates you to have that type of motor?
To be honest, I don't want to lose, so I give everything all.
I love that answer. Well, are you an early enrollee, or are you going to be arriving? When will you be arriving on campus? Will it be this summer?
Yes, sir. It'll be this summer.
When you'd watch, and I'm sure you watched some Husker games last fall, when you watched Nebraska play this past year, what stood out the most to you about the team in year 1 under Matt Rhule?
They were relentless. They would mess up, but they'd still go after the ball either way. I really like that.
What sticks out the most to you about Nebraska fans? Because a lot of people will come here and they're just kind of almost in awe of Husker Nation. I know the coaches use it as a major recruiting tool for obvious reasons. Husker Nation truly is unique. What is the thing that sticks out the most to you about Husker fans?
The support for the school, really. When I committed, my phone was blowing up all day, and then like a week later, it was still blowing up. So I found that really cool. See how much support Nebraska has.
That is pretty cool, and it's very unique. If you were to give a message to Husker Nation or Nebraska fans listening to this interview, what would your message to them be?
I promise to give my all on the field and to make sure that your support isn't wasted.
I like it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, if you are a diesel mechanic, CDL driver, or concrete finisher looking for work in the Omaha metro area, DPS Construction is the employer for you. Jason Armstrong is a great person to work for. I know the backstory to how he started the company. I know things that he had to endure and overcome. And honestly, we had breakfast at Cracker Barrel last football season, and I learned some things from him. Okay, some of the things that he had to endure weren't some of the most easy things, and that's why when I talk about him as an owner. I talk about the type of work that he wants his employees to do. That's why I speak so highly of him, okay, because I can speak to that on a personal level. So DPS Concrete Construction, check them out, dpsconstruction.net. Now, I've never asked a future Nebraska football player this next question, but it just kind of popped into my mind while I was sitting down and prepping for this interview. Do you happen to know what, and I have no idea what they are, I'm just kind of curious, what your bench, squat, and clean maxes are at all?
Oh, sir. I haven't maxed out any of those yet.
Do you have a guess as to what they'd be?
To guess, I think I can bench 350. My squat, 425. And what was the other one you asked me?
Clean.
Clean. I think I can get 300 now.
I'll be honest with you. The first day I walked in the weight room, I got there in June, going into my freshman year. And there was other defensive ends that came in my class, but one of them was there, and he was benching 315 for reps that day, and I got buried under 275. Like, I couldn't get 275, and I remember thinking, I'm going to be backing up that guy for the next 4 years. Now, he was a good player, but it's interesting because once you get to college, the amount of work that you put in makes such a huge difference, regardless of where you're starting at. My point is, I think you're stronger than I was when I was going into college, and I weighed just a little bit more. So, man, kudos to you on a great head start there. Now, real quick, Husker fans, I came across a couple of interesting things. Okay, now, Nebraska, the past 10 years, it was what it was. But the last 50 years, Nebraska still has the sixth most amount of wins of any team in college football. Okay, 441 wins from 1974 to 2023. And obviously, that even excludes the championship years of 70 and 71. So we'd be even higher on that list if they went all the way back to 1970 or the past 55 years or so. And then these are some other stats that I noticed. Okay, a lot has changed since Matt Rule was named Nebraska's head coach 14 months ago. For example, over 75 names on the roster are different. Of the Huskers' current roster, 17% are seniors, 24% are juniors, 17% are sophomores, and 42% are freshmen. Okay, that being said, of course, offseason Kool-Aid tastes good, but it's hard not to look at what Rule has done so far this offseason and not legitimately feel like we're headed in the right direction. And then this next one leads to a question for you specifically, Keona, because Nebraska has the most amount of returning production of any team in the Big Ten. Actually, Northwestern is number 2, and they surprised everybody last year with 76% returning. Nebraska's got 77% of their production returning from last year. When you hear something like that, what crosses your mind, and how does that excite you when you know that you're going to be coming to Nebraska, arriving on campus soon?
I'm excited, really, especially to have all those people coming back. It'll be a good team. But to me, what comes across my mind is that's more competition for me to get on the line, which that excites me too, because that means I'll get better.
All right, man. Is there something about you that maybe people don't know that they'd find interesting that you're comfortable sharing with the fine folks at home?
My favorite dog is a pit bull.
All right, that's interesting. Have you ever tried to trade a pit bull?
Yes, sir.
They're actually pretty smart, I think. And you've had an interesting recruiting journey. I wanted to ask you this question. Is there like a specific memory that sticks out to you from your recruiting journey that led you to Nebraska here, but something throughout that journey that kind of sticks out to you as a memory.
My dog reacted to the coaches. It was awesome. He was all over them. Some he would be more excited than others, but I found it interesting.
All right, man. Okay, I got some questions for you fine folks at home. Hit me up in the comments below. Number one, if you just want to show Keona some love in the comments below, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, show him some love in those comments. Number two, 31 guys on scholarship coming in. Is that too many? I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to say no. I say I love it because that's how Matt Rule wants to build the program. But let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Also, how good with 10 potential returning starters coming back can Nebraska's defense be next year? Hit me up on Twitter and Facebook if you've got nothing else to do with your time. And thank you for joining me, Keona. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, Husker Nation, go big. Red Nose, remember to throw the bug.